Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2. God, it feels a bit complex calling it an episode, but yeah, part 2 of my HT550 journey, I guess. Thanks for your support in watching the first episode, and I'm not going to do so much preamble here. If you want to know what it's all about, go back and watch the last video, and it'll tell you a little more. I am out today, fully luggaged up on the Pipe Dream Sirius, just to test some little bits and bobs. I've got a lot more to say about that as time goes on, but for now, I'm not going to kind of turn this into a review sort of gig along the way. I mean, I'll tell you a bit about the stuff and why I chose it, but I'm not going to go too far in depth. If you want to know anything about that, then yeah, give me a shout and I can tell you, or I can do a little video on that. But there's plenty of information out there about this kit. When I get back, I'll tell you my experiences with it. I don't think it's fair to just, give any sort of first impression just on buying it on other people's reviews and then just taking it for granted. So maybe a bit better to do that when I get back. Nobody's given me anything for this. I bought it all with my own money, so I don't have a dog in the hunt. I just want it to work well. And if anybody asks me, I'll tell you the truth. So with all that said, I am going to start this episode with questions from you guys. YouTube is hard to crack, right? And I'm not sure I want to crack it. I just want to share my experiences with people. So thanks for the couple of hundred people that have watched the first one. I think it's bite-sized and I brought some people over from Instagram, so thanks for that. It'd be great if you're watching this one to like this video and subscribe. It would really help me get this message out there for others to take advantage of. And yeah, it's kind of a weird project for me to share this so publicly outside my friend circle and confidant circle, but I guess we'll see how it goes. Okay, so overwhelmingly, the biggest question has been why. This is not from people that are in this space, it's from people that don't understand this space. My neighbours, my friends that don't cycle, stuff like that. Some of my friends that do cycle. I've just always wanted to do these things. Even when I've had the opportunity, I felt like I never explored it to its fullest. So when I was young, I would always go on big adventures. In my teens, when I got into mountain biking, I'd go on big adventures. We just never took pumps or tubes or food or anything with us. We just winged it. I started riding down in Derbyshire, so we used to get up the Peak District, take the train to Sheffield from Nottinghamshire, and just disappear into the wilderness for 2 or 3 days. And it's basically been a journey since then. Specifically for this, though, in 2014, I was working alongside a guy called Gary, and he is an adventure race designer, the architect of adventure. You'll love that. And he did the HT550 in 2014, and he came back with all kinds of stories, and it's been a thing of mine ever since. Now, I wanted to do it in 2015, and I became injured. I had a lot going on in my life. Employment changes, the injury was debilitating for somebody who doesn't ride. I was on my backside for 6 months, and I just never got round to revisiting it again. And at this point, I'll still be 51 when I hit the start line, but I'm not getting any younger. So this was my year to just do it. I'm generally fit, but it'll take a lot more training and a lot more mindset training. But yeah, that's it. It's as you can imagine, a lot more complex than that. But that's basically it. I've wanted to do it for ages. Okay, you forgive me. I'm looking at my phone for these questions. How do I intend to prepare mentally? Well, I'm going to be absolutely humble about this. I don't think there's any way you can prepare mentally, because you don't know what the challenges are going to be. I could say that I can ride 150 kilometers a day, fantastic, but the terrain, the possibility for mechanicals, just missing a food stop or not preparing properly, forgetting something. I think a friend of mine that I mentioned before did it in 2014. He turned up and he'd forgotten his shoes, and he did it on a set of borrowed shoes. Gary, pull me up here if that's not true, but I'm sure he forgot his shoes, maybe even his helmet. And I mean, that's stress before you get started. So I don't know. I'm going to revisit this question though as the weeks go on. My bike, that's my bike. It's a Pipe Dream Sirius S5. I've got a list of bikes that I'm making just now from 1991, and I've owned around 70 bikes since 1991. And I think this is in my top 5. I absolutely love this bike. It's just a steel hardtail, the Scottish manufacturer, Pipe Dream, and it's designed around a 120mm fork with, I think, somewhere around a 64-degree head angle. Comes out a little slacker, actually. And it's brilliant. I can speak more about that as time goes on. But I love this bike. Again, paid for it with my own money. I would buy another one if I lost that one. I'd buy another one tomorrow. Okay, am I going to go light and fast or heavy and comfortable? I don't know. I think it depends how my fitness feels and my mindset feels a couple of weeks before, and how my kit testing goes. There's a million ways to load a bike. See this montage up here of bikes. These are all pulled from past HT550 rigs from bikepacking.com, which is a great place where stories are shared from this race as well. So have a look at that. You can also go back, while we're on the subject of montages, to my Instagram at Ravens Outdoor and look at all this chat going on as well, which is just me rambling individually on small reels about the kit I'm using, just from day to day and kind of sampling. So if you want to know what kit I'm going to take and whether I'm going to try and go fast and light or heavier and comfortable, funny way of saying it, but I know what you mean. ITT, will you be on Track Leaders? Yes, you can join Track Leaders. I've already spoken to them. I format my spot tracker and yeah, it pops up on the map. I'll be a different coloured dot and I'll be setting off, half a day behind the Grand Depart. But yes, I will be there. So that actually answers another question. How did I get an entry with entries being so limited? I didn't get an entry. 64 people on the start line. This year, 30 women, 34 men. That's just off the top of my head. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, so I don't have a recent track record that I can produce. So the organisers, quite rightly, didn't give me an entry. But I am free to do what I like. I gave my donation to Trees for Life, which the organiser Alan asked for, and I got the GPS. So that's me. Yeah, there's a couple of questions here that I'm gonna keep for later on about electronics and charging and GPSs and route finding and all that kind of thing, and what I'm doing to improve my fitness and to kind of avoid injury. I want to circle back to why I'm doing this and a little bit that I talked about injury. I've talked with Jen about this, is that somebody asked the question, what would make you pull out? So there's a couple of things. So before the start, if I know I'm not ready, if there's any doubt that I'm not as ready as I can be to at least finish within the 7 or 8 days, then I just won't go. There's always next year. And I know I said there wasn't, kind of said there wasn't next year, and this is my year, but there is always next year. So on the ride, 2 things, and the first one would be injury that's going to give me a long-term problem. I'm not risking the next potential 30 years of flourishing in life for a bike race. It's just not happening. If I feel like I'm going to bother an injury, create a long-term injury, I'll just scratch. I don't have a problem with that. That's one thing that scares me a little bit. The second one is just a catastrophic failure of the bike. So there's all kinds of things you can fix with gaffer tape and zip tie and stuff like that. But if the frame cracks, or like I lose 4 or 5 spokes out my wheel, something like that, just there's 100 things can happen to my bike that might cause a problem. So that's it. That's really the only 2 reasons that I would scratch, and the only one reason that I wouldn't start. So yeah, it's up to me to identify those things and not to let my ego get in the way of making those decisions that will allow me to move forward, especially the injury one and the fitness one. I need to move past this commitment and still be fit when I come out the other end. So thanks for watching this second installment. Hopefully they're going to get more interested as time goes on. And next week I'm going to be talking about my kit. Again, not reviewing, letting you know why I chose it and why I'm going to move forward with this tail fin stuff, as opposed to all the stuff I've been testing on my Instagram account up to now. For the tech heads of you and the interesting stuff for you mountain bikers and what have you, then next week should be a good one, hopefully. Anyway, thanks for hanging on. And if you've enjoyed the video and you want to continue on my journey with me, any questions in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. Maybe share it on your own channels. That would be amazing. That's me for this installment. Remember to set those notifications. Cheers.